In a significant escalation of the war in Ukraine, tensions have risen following a daring incursion by the Free Russia Legion into Russian territory earlier this week. This group, composed primarily of anti-Putin Russians, launched an audacious strike from the northern region of Kharkiv, reaching the border into Russia's Belgorod region. Moscow immediately decried the incursion, attributing it to Ukrainian militants, while the perpetrators brazenly claimed responsibility. The Free Russia Legion, initially founded by a meager 100 fighters, has piqued interest due to its elusive nature and somewhat shadowy operations. Its growth since its inception remains a subject of speculation among analysts, many of whom suggest it may have expanded substantially. Nevertheless, details about the group's scale and active operations remain shrouded in ambiguity. Caught in the midst of a counteroffensive, the Free Russia Legion boasted of its sustained attacks despite the Russian Defense Ministry's assertions of having repelled the Ukrainian-aligned fighters back across the border. Notably, these pro-Ukraine forces seemed to deploy several US-made armored vehicles during their audacious incursion into Russian territory. This revelation has sparked further inquiries into the nature and capabilities of the fighters behind the Free Russia Legion and the repercussions their actions could have on the ongoing conflict. Meanwhile, the ripple effects of this cross-border assault have been felt domestically within Russia as well. From local apprehensions of a fresh wave of military challenges to a Russian court's decision to detain American journalist Evan Gershkovich, the situation continues to unfold. Further afield, Poland's declaration of readiness to train Ukrainian pilots on F-16s and the European Union's commitment to bolster Ukraine's artillery shell count underline the mounting international dimensions of this conflict. The Freedom for Russia Legion's audacious foray into Russian territory was marked by the utilization of American-made military vehicles, a detail that cannot be overlooked. Among these were the mine-resistant ambush-protected vehicles and several HUMVs. In spite of Moscow's condemnation of the West's role in supplying Ukraine with military equipment, the use of such hardware in the conflict is a testament to the continually evolving dynamics of this war in Ukraine. Eyewitness accounts and video evidence reportedly showcasing U.S. military vehicles in Belgorod have fueled the Kremlin's fiery criticism of Western involvement. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov voiced concern over the increasing prevalence of Western military hardware, emphasizing its use against Russian military personnel. This comes in the wake of accusations that the West's direct and indirect involvement in the conflict has been steadily increasing. However, the Freedom for Russia Legion remains steadfast in its claims, citing its shared information and cooperation with Ukraine's armed forces. The apparent exchange of intel between the pro-Ukrainian group and Ukraine's military intelligence, as disclosed by intelligence agent Andriy Chernyak, further fuels the intrigue surrounding the role of this group in the wider conflict. Meanwhile, the Russian Defense Ministry continues to tally Russian losses. The ultimate cost of this conflict on both human lives and infrastructure remains a grave concern. As the dust settles on this incident, local populations in Belgorod have been forced to grapple with the consequences of the conflict. In the aftermath of the cross-border raid, one of the most audacious since the war in Ukraine began in earnest in February 2022, villages along the border were evacuated, marking a new chapter in the human cost of this war. Governor Vyacheslav Gladkov's account of the widespread drone attacks offers a grim portrayal of a region under siege, reinforcing the strategic importance of this area and its potential role in shaping the trajectory of the ongoing conflict. On the military front, Moscow launched a counteroffensive aimed at reclaiming control over the contested territory. Utilizing a combination of airstrikes and artillery fire, Russia's western military district sought to neutralize the threat posed by these nationalist formations. The reports suggest a strategic victory for the Russian forces in repelling the paramilitary invasion, underscoring the ebb and flow of territorial control that has characterized the ongoing conflict. Despite the initial successes of the pro-Ukrainian Russian militias, it seems the tide may have turned in this episode of the war. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu reported a considerable victory in the counteroffensive, with an estimated 70 Ukrainian terrorists killed. Moscow's stern promise to respond harshly to similar actions paints a daunting picture of the future of the conflict. However, it's essential to keep in mind the objective analysis provided by the Washington-based Institute for the Study of War, which indicates that the Russian forces may have been successful in repelling the paramilitary forces, signaling a potential shift in momentum. As the fog of war lifts, only time will reveal the true implications of these developments and their impact on the larger scope of the war in Ukraine. The dynamics of this conflict are as unpredictable as they are complex. We want to hear your insights. What do you think the implications of these developments will be for the future of the war in Ukraine? How do you see the West's involvement influencing the conflict? Share your thoughts below.
Thank you for watching this episode of Warzone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.